there is a flickering flame of I-ness, which strikes me as being more me than merely the sum total of all the neurological activity that's going on in my head. Is that an illusion?
Yeah. Well, and it not only is an illusion, but also it imparts the sense that me is divorceable from the rest of the brain and body, so that we're sort of common sense dualists, where we feel like this is where the idea of the soul comes from, and we have the sense that we are behind our eyes, looking out at a world from a point inside the head. And if you inspect this feeling of self closely enough, it can actually disappear. And when it disappears, you're still conscious. You still see everything and hear everything and and feel everything.
Let's try to unravel what we've just seen there. Okay guys, so we've just seen Sam Harris make a claim that the self is an illusion. Now, he's mentioned this particular point on many online public talks and debates, and even in his book, Waking Up, where he makes the claim that the self is an illusion. And this is a claim which is, tied to his more general philosophy on spirituality in the absence of God and religion. Now, it may raise some questions as to why would a new atheist be wanting to talk about meditation and spirituality, but we'll leave that till the end of the video. Here, what I want to do is really go into discussing this particular point, that the self is an illusion. Now, even on the surface of it, I'm sure you guys can pick up that something doesn't add up there. Well, let me point out two things for you. Now, when he tries to make this claim, in trying to justify, he tries to take people on a bit of a journey. And by the way, when I make this point now, I want you to pay attention to how many times I have to refer to the self and use the first, second, and third person pronouns. By the way, when Sam Harris does this himself, on his, wherever he does online, you can watch it for yourself. You'll see that he can't help but refer to the self. Isn't it intriguing that here's a man that's trying to deny the self and call it an illusion, but at the same time can't help but refer to the self, right? But anyway, so he uses this line of reasoning. He says, look, when you go and search for yourself and you look inside yourself, you would see that you cannot locate yourself. You can look behind your eyes, inside your head, X, Y, and Z, and you'll realize that you do not exist. You are an illusion. Now, there's a big problem here, and I'm sure you've picked up on this already. Number one, you are being asked to go in search for yourself. Therefore, or in other words, the self is looking for the self. Let me try to clarify this a bit more. What's being said basically here, as far as I understand it, is that the self is required to go in search for the self. But if the self is already required, then what sense does it make in going in search for the self and even denying the self? Because if you deny the self or call the self an illusion, then who's going on that journey in the first place, in search of the self? It just doesn't make any sense. It's a paradox, it's a contradiction, right? It's stupidity. Right? That being said, the second problem is, remember, this particular point is tied to his more general philosophy on spirituality. He wants people to have spiritual experiences. Well, hold on a second. Isn't an experience meant to be had by someone, by the self? If you deny the self and call it an illusion, then what's going to experience spirituality? It just doesn't make any sense. And I'm sure the clip that you saw in the beginning of the dog chasing its own tail makes sense now. See, what we need to do, guys, is we need to call a spade a spade. Yes, it's Sam Harris. Yes, it's the brand, whatever the case may be. But we have to, if it's nonsense, we have to call it nonsense. And to be honest, I don't think he's going to go far in providing an alternative to atheists in regards to spirituality in the absence of religion and God. Because if he's starting off by denying the self, he's not going to get far. And this is why, I really encourage, and by the way, let me just make this clear. And I've made this clear in many other videos, but in case there's new viewers, I am not here to attack atheists in any way, shape or form. If anything, I've acknowledged before as well, there are many intelligent, sincere, honest atheists out there that are looking for the truth. But unfortunately, people like Sam Harris are dumbing people down. If anyone is serious and is honestly searching and looking for the truth, you may be an atheist, I would encourage you to keep looking. And as a Muslim, I would really encourage you to look into Islam, in particular, the spiritual tradition of Islam. Because unfortunately, people don't inquire about this. They don't look into the spiritual tradition of Islam because unfortunately they can't get past the false narratives that people like Sam Harris put out there regarding Islam. If you're sincere, if you're honest, I really encourage you to look into this. Maybe I'm going to add some links in the bottom of this particular video in the description, which can, aid you in beginning your journey and going in search for the truth. That being said, I really appreciate you guys listening to this video. Make sure to subscribe, make sure to share this video, And please leave your comments below regarding what you think of Sam Harris's views on the self. Any other issues you may be able to point out. By the way, by no means was this a detailed review of his particular philosophy in waking up. I just wanted to address that particular point, which I thought was absolutely absurd. I may do a video later on, let's see, on waking up itself, more of a detailed review, but so far I don't see the need to do so. That being said, I thank you guys for watching. Until next time, take care.